Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, we're talking about the Nintendo 3DS and preservation. So in yesterday's video, we talked about this tweet here, which teased an event. It's titled Exploration, and it was October 25th at 1 p.m. And that event delivered. So heading on over to YouTube, and there's a video here that's 28 minutes and 17 seconds long, and I would recommend checking it out. If you are interested and wanted to learn more about it, like everything we talk about, link will be within the GitHub link in the bottom of the description below. I don't hide my sources. Anyways here, this one's titled Exploring Nintendo's E3 2010 3DS Demos. And here's the description of that video, which I think a lot of people might be interested in. They say here at E3 2010, Nintendo revealed their newest handheld, the Nintendo 3DS. On the show floor, many E3 exclusive demos were created to showcase the 3D display and work-in-progress games. Once E3 was over, the demos were never to be seen again. Until now. So there's timestamps to everything in that video, and it appears that everything has been preserved over on the Internet Archive. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. Overall, I think this is a huge win for game preservation and a pretty neat video. And speaking about Nintendo, but going back a few generations here and talking about Game Boy Advance emulation with Visual Boy Advance M, and Visual Boy Advance M just got a brand new update. So at the time of filming, version 2.2.3 is the latest update for Visual Boy Advance M, and this update has a whole bunch of stuff in it. A whole bunch of fixes, improvements, additions, and even more. And the big thing here, they say we have finally added working color correction. And speaking about emulation and fixes and improvements and brand new stuff, next up here we're talking about IBM PC system emulation with 86box. And 86box version 5.2 just dropped. So they say here, this is the October 2025 update to 86box, bringing in a few more new features, lots of new machines, and the obligatory bug fixes. And they've introduced floppy drive sounds. Now these are not enabled by default, they can be enabled through the floppy drive settings by selecting a drive model in the audio box. And they say recordings from one 3.5-inch and two 5.25-inch drive models are currently available as part of the ROM set. And on top of that, and I think this one might be a little bit more interesting for gamers, they say many new GamePort joystick types have been added between generic options and real models from CH products and Thrustmaster. And they've expanded upon the previous joystick work. And on top of that, because yes, there is a whole lot more, we're not going to go over everything here, and I would recommend reading this set if you wanted to learn more about it. And again, like everything we talk about, link will be within that GitHub link below. But they have slightly improved emulator startup speed through ROM scanning optimizations. And speaking about adding stuff people might be excited about, next up here we're talking about gaming on Android, custom drivers, and Snapdragon 8 Elite processors. Yes, you heard me correctly. Anyways, here taking a look on GitHub at Adreno Tools drivers, and Qualcomm driver version 849 has just dropped. Now these are pretty darn fresh. I don't have a Snapdragon 8 Elite to check out, but let me know your experiences with them in the comments below. They say they work fine for WinLater and GameHub. Other emulators may have issues. Now there are a couple of things worth noting. First and foremost, this driver does not just apply to the Snapdragon 8 Elite. Secondly, these are not custom Mesa Turnip drivers. Those are still not out yet for the Snapdragon 8 Elite. And speaking about new stuff, next up we're talking about file compression on Android with CHDroid or CHDroid, or subscribe to Mr. Sujano, depending on how you wanted to interpret that. Anyways here, CHDroid just got a brand new update. So for those who may or may not be aware, CHDroid is advertised as the ultimate tool for converting your game ROMs into the highly compressed CHD, compressed hunks of data, or something else. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I just said it and I don't want to upset people by saying it again. Directly from your Android device. And on top of that, it's not just CHD, it now works with GDI. So anyways, they posted their update changelog over on Reddit emulation on Android, and I think a lot of people who use this app will be excited for this one. Or if you weren't using this app because of this reason, maybe you now will. They've added support for GDI files. On top of that, they've implemented recursive search option, added a setting to disable ads. improved files picking, and refined CHDman extraction logic to correctly identify file types, for example, CD, DVD, and GD. And speaking about updates, that's kind of a cheap segue because a lot of this video includes just updates to stuff and updates in the gaming and tech industry. Anyways, we're talking about Marvel Rivals. I've just realized I've cut off part of the title of this one. So anyways here, Marvel Rivals just got a brand new update and introduced PvE mode, which has significantly increased its player count. So for those who may be unaware, the new PvE mode is called Marvel Zombies. It dropped on October 23rd and will be going away on November 14th. In my opinion, that is a super small window. And I'm wondering if Marvel will reconsider things once they see the overall player increase. Because once this thing dropped, the player increase or the player count or the concurrent player count jumped significantly, which has been steadily declining over the last while. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. Have you been playing Marvel Rivals? Has your interest in the game dropped over time? And has this new PvE Zombies mode piqued your interest? And speaking about stuff within a set time period, next up here we're talking about AKNES and 8bitdo. Now, if you're not familiar with AKNES, they have a store over on Amazon, and I would recommend checking them out if you're interested in 8bitdo and Gillikit products. They have a lot of really good stuff there. They have some exclusives, and I use them quite a bit when I order 8bitdo stuff for myself. Anyways here, taking a look at AKNES, and I would recommend checking out their Discord as well. They're having a giveaway for the orange 8bitdo Pro 3. So at the time of filming, there are only 240 entries for this thing, which I would say the chances of winning are pretty good. Head on over to the AKNES Discord for more information on the matter, and I'll include a link to their Discord and the GitHub link in the description below. They do have giveaways quite a bit over there. And speaking about cool stuff, next up here, we're talking about Playtime Panorama. And if you were ever interested in generating a dense, responsive collage of your Steam library, where each header image tile is sized by the Playtime, well, you might have a brand new app for that. It is worth noting here that this does not work if your Steam profile data is set to private. I checked this one out for myself and couldn't get any information because I keep my stuff private. Anyways, here, if your stuff is public or someone else's stuff is public, you can also check out other people's stuff too. And speaking about Steam games, next up here, we're talking about Dead Island 2. And if you're a fan of Dead Island 2 but weren't a fan of Denuvo, you might be excited to know that Denuvo has been removed from this game. This game is now 100% Denuvo free. And speaking about Denuvo, but stuff having Denuvo, next up here we're talking about Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake. And if you're interested in this game, it does have Denuvo and it is dropping on October 30th. It got a brand new story trailer up on YouTube that I would recommend checking out. And continuing to talk about games with Denuvo, last up here we're talking about Street Fighter and their collaboration with McDonald's. Now, the collab doesn't have Denuvo on it, but Street Fighter 6 still does. Anyways, here we're talking about Street Fighter 6's collaboration with McDonald's in Japan. We have talked about this one in previous videos. Anyways, there appear to be some exclusive colors for Ryu and Chun-Li, which you can get your hands on with these codes. So if you're a fan of McDonald's colors, yellow and red, or I guess in some cases, yellow and black, I forgot to mention that Ken is a part of this as well. This may be of interest, and I will be checking this out in my copy of Street Fighter 6 after I'm done recording this video. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Feel free to discuss anything we talked about in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.